I am Jamie Gruhl, and I am here to share with you today how to increase your profit while actually working less. If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, I'm Jamie Gruhl, and after helping over 500 tax and accounting practices implement automation with TaxDome, I can confidently say that automation is the only way to increase your profit and time freedom in your practice. Now, you may be wondering, how the heck is that even possible? Well, I'm going to cover with you today the 3 secrets that will get you to this reality in 2024, and I am so excited to share with you. Now, if we haven't met, I want you to know that I know what I'm talking about because we have served over 700 practices, helping them to implement simple to follow automated operations that allow the practice to actually run smoother, more streamlined, more organized. And this is done through implementing practice management software. Now, if you are new to this world, stay with me because I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what you need to be doing this year in order to have the same reality in your practice. I want you to know that by implementing a practice management software, you're actually able to buy back your time. Now, how does this happen? Well, it's done through efficiency. It's done through streamlining your processes. It's done through keeping things in one centralized location. So if you are somebody who struggles with having multiple softwares that you are using, you have documents all over the place, maybe you're still using paper to track your clients, this is for you. And I share with you today these simple secrets that will transform the way you're thinking about your practice operations. I want you enjoying life again. I want you to be out enjoying your hobbies, enjoying time with your family, having the freedom to take time off even during busy season. Now, if you haven't met my partner, Jessica Smith, who's an enrolled agent, she's actually only working 4 or 5 days a week. Even during busy season, she's working less than 30 hours a week, and that is with a very small, streamlined team. So if you are somebody who wants that in your world too, let's dive in. First thing I want to talk about is you need to embrace technology. Now, I know there are a lot of thoughts that you maybe are having about technology. Maybe you've been in practice for 20 years and you've never used a practice management software. You have created your workflows, you have a process that you take your clients through, and it's working. But my question to you, is it working for you? Is it allowing you and your team, if you have one, to actually work in a more streamlined manner? What technology can do for you is will actually take off the burdensome day-to-day grinding work that is driving you and your team crazy. If you're a solo practitioner, you wear all the hats. And that means that you're the one that's sending the emails, doing the follow-ups, doing all of the parts that keep the projects moving. Now, if you have a team, the same thing is happening. And you may be spending your hard-earned profit on team members having to fill in these gaps to do the administrative manual work to keep your systems and processes in your practice moving. What we're able to do with technology, though, is we're able to actually eliminate those by streamlining workflows and also automating a lot of the steps that your team is currently doing manually. Think of things like sending out engagement letters at the end of the year. Are they having to package up paper packets, send out organizers, make sure engagement letters are in there, and doing all the mail merge and all the things that come with that? That's one. The other is the general collecting of documents and information from your clients. Are you having to track your clients, follow up? You're sending out those paper packets, so you don't really know, has the client looked at it? Did they even receive it? Are they on vacation for 6 months? You have no way of identifying if a client is engaging with you. By taking things online and leveraging technology, we're actually able to better track what's happening with our clients. We're able to breadcrumb them more successfully to the end result that we're looking to have. So that is one big one, is adopting the idea that technology is there for you and it can help you work smarter in your practice. The second item that I have for you is that you need to be open to change. Now, a lot of practice owners that we work with, there are some that have been working in their practices since 2000s or even the 90s, and they are very set in the way they have been working. But many of them come to us because they have identified that what they have been doing is no longer going to serve them and their life's desires. Now, part of that is they have become aware that there are new ways of being able to run their practices. That is beneficial because they are open to change. And because they have seen a new and better way of working, they then take the action steps towards making those changes. Now, the other camp is somebody who's very fixed in the way that they are doing things, and they think their way is the only way and by far the best way to do things. You may not have the same event where you see a new way of working. If your mind is going to not be open to change, you're likely going to maintain the current status and the current ways that you are working. So I would encourage you to think about, is this really truly working for me? And is this the kind of life that I can see myself living for the next 10, 20 years? That is a really important thing to think about. Now, as I mentioned, we have served over 700 people at this point in time. And that is over the last 3 years. And what I have seen is there are two camps of people that come in. There are those that really, they think that they want to change, they have the intention to change, but they're so resistant to new ways of working that they don't actually make the change that will benefit them and get them the greatest return on investment. Now, the other camp, which luckily for us has been a majority of our clients, they come in and they're open to new ways of working. They have been working in a small practice. They have maybe felt siloed in new ways of working in their operations. And so they're very open to the idea of change, and they hear and learn about new ways of working in their processes that could benefit them in the long run. Now, an example of this would be if somebody came in and they are not currently taking deposits or a minimum fee at the beginning of the process of doing tax preparation. And those people are coming in, and the people that are open-minded, they say, oh my gosh, there's a way for me to get cash flow at the beginning of the tax season and have my clients have skin in the game. And they're excited about that option and opportunity that can bring to benefiting them as a business owner. Now, the other camp are the people that are resistant and say, oh, my clients would never do that, and we've never taken deposits, so why would we start now? Well, yes, you can stay doing it the same way you have always been doing, but what if the benefit outweighs this fear of change? And so we really work a lot with our clients on that idea of there are other ways of working, and change doesn't have to be scary. The final thing that I would say is that in order to see you increasing your profits and reducing your working hours is to get support. This industry is very tenacious. You guys have had to take on ever-changing tax code updates year to year. Just like at the end of each year, you look to your mentors within the industry to help you with that changing tax code. Now, the same thing goes for your operations. Don't go out and set forth on operations unsupported. Because what happens is, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of you have been working in a very specific way. You maybe learned it from your mentors as you were apprenticing in the firms, as you were gaining your skills in tax and accounting. And you probably picked up the way that a firm runs from maybe 10, 15 years ago. What you will find is that things have changed a lot because of technology. And while we're not changing the process that you go through, the mechanisms of that process are able to be changed to benefit you. And so what we do as mentors to our clients and our community is we act as the expert in operations. So we are consultants. And what we are able to do is guide our clients to greater success and faster results because we have paved the way with our methods of using automation. And what we are doing is we're doing that through trainings, we're doing that through mentorship and consultation, and through our community, which is full of other colleagues of yours that are in the same spot as you. They have either been right where you are because they're just learning technology, or they have been doing it for a couple of years and they're great mentors to being able to ask questions of how are you doing this and getting feedback of better ways of working and smoother ways of transitioning your clients and offboarding clients when they're not a good fit. All of those things are able to be communicated and you're able to grow because you have access to so many different perspectives and ideas about what is possible. Now, I wanted to share before I go too far, the framework that is really helpful in looking at any technology you decide to implement. Now, we love TaxDome because TaxDome is the best tools on the market as of today, and it is an automated practice management solution. Now, what that means is that we're able to leverage TaxDome to take away a lot of those manual efforts that we were talking about. But setting up a software is no easy feat if you don't know exactly how to do it. one of the things that we do best is that we're able to give people a very fast education on the way in which TaxDome works, giving them the information and knowledge to become masters of TaxDome. That allows them to be long-term successful users of the tool, making sure that they're going deep on how the tool works so that they are able to get the full return on investment of the implementing of this new software into their practice. So I wanted to walk you through our 4-stage framework that is what we take people through as you are implementing TaxDome into your practice. And you may take away a few things that will be helpful to you. So the first thing is you need to standardize. Standardizing your workflows is critical to being able to leverage automation. Now, I am in several different groups of several different tools, and one of the things I was just reading is that a lot of people were struggling with the fact that they have clients who are different, and they're creating of their workflows, which in TaxDome we call pipelines, which are essentially a templated workflow that gets applied to all of your clients going through a specific service. They are finding that having to standardize is challenging. And what I would like to add to that is that when you're thinking about standardizing, you need to look to the 50,000 foot level. All of your clients are going to have unique attributes. They're all going to be married. Maybe they're single, maybe they're a corporation, maybe they're a partnership. Those things are different about the client. So the actual return itself in tax preparation, for example, is going to be different for each of those different types of clients. However, the process that you go through to actually standardize your workflow is, if you looked at those 4 different types of clients, that is the same process of actually producing the return. So it's in how we're documenting the unique attributes of those clients that allows your team to actually do the work for that specific type of client. But when you're looking at the process of taking a client through, say, tax preparation, that is standardized for all types of clients. If we treat everybody the same, we always know that if they are an individual, they have this type of deposit has been made on it, and this very standardized amount, and we have gotten this standardized engagement letter, and we got this standardized organizer sent out to them with the information that is unique to them coming back to us so that I can then prepare the return. And when I go to prepare that return, I know that those 3 steps prior to that have all been completed. There's no guessing. And that is where you develop the massive efficiencies that has you working less. Now, the second thing you need to think about is automation. So once you have identified your standardized process, you then need to automate it. So you need to look at each of the particular steps of that process, and you need to then be able to leverage the features and functionality of your software. So if you're using something like TaxDome, there's a lot of functionality that's available for us to leverage. Could be sending an automated chat to the client. It could be sending an organizer to the client. It could be sending a task out to a team member. But there's ways of making sure that we're automating and taking advantage of the efficiencies that can be gained from our software. Now, the third one is client experience. This is the most important one that a lot of people forget about. Once you have automated, you then have to layer in a really thick layer of client experience. So how are you making sure that your clients are getting their questions asked proactively so they're not having to think, what is the next step of my process? You're automatically telling them, here's how you do the next step of your process. One of the other things you need to be thinking about is, am I communicating with them updates along the way? Those are the types of client experience that we like to make sure are baked in. And that makes sure that your clients are raving about this new communication level that you have, because it's possible it's something that you haven't been able to do without a ton of manpower. And I know from my own experience that as soon as I get into a stressed, high pressure, low bandwidth state, the first thing that goes is my communication. So I don't know if you can resonate with that, but it's been my experience in life. Now, the final thing that you need to do is, once you start utilizing a tool like TaxDome or any other practice management software, is you need to make sure that year over year you're optimizing. You're looking at how can we improve things that maybe didn't go so well this tax season? How can we take advantage of new features of the tool? How can we make sure that we're always improving? Now, one of my earlier recommendations was being open to change. That is part of it, right? And so what we see is this flywheel where each and every year you're going through, are there opportunities to standardize? Are there opportunities for additional automation? Are there opportunities for a better client experience? And then making sure that year over year, you're optimizing those workflows. That is where success comes from. And that is where people start seeing the results that many of our clients are seeing, which is the first year, a lot of them see anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week coming back to them. In the second year, they get even more efficient because they're more confident and more comfortable in working in the tool. Our clients on average are seeing about 30% increase in profit. But we also are having outliers who are seeing 200 and 300% increase in profit because they're finding increased client capacity. They're still working the hours they want to be working, and they're meeting their goals for themselves personally and in their business. And they're really satisfied with that because they have done these 4 steps. Standardize, and then they automate, they look at their client experience, and they continue to optimize. So if you're somebody who's, yes, 2024 is my year, this is gonna be the year that I make the change, I move away from my old way of working, the old school paper loaded Excel spreadsheet tracker, maybe even a physical board tracker, but I'm moving away from that and I'm moving to the more automated workflows so that I can start eventually having the lifestyle that I desire. And I promise you, in the next 2 to 3 years, if you do these processes and you take the commitment to making the change, you're going to find that is happening in ways that you never imagined possible. And if you're somebody who is looking for support in this, our Workflows for Tax Pros program is an excellent way to fast track your success. Using TaxDome, we're able to share with you our methods of TaxDome that have proven to be successful and get a great client experience, massive efficiencies, and automate as much as possible that allows you to focus on where it matters, which is your client interactions, your client delivery, not the busyness of gathering information or delivering information to your clients. And make sure that you are paying attention because we have some exciting stuff coming this spring. We're going to be opening the doors to Workflows for Tax Pros in mid-May, and we would love to have you join us. So make sure you're ready when we open those doors, and we are so excited to help you automate so that you can start working less and making more. We'll see you again soon.